As SCAG approaches the many policy issues that we're charged with, we have to be especially concerned with the rate of change in our region. That change encompasses things from how quickly technology changes, to the changing demographics, to the growth in the region.
Well, when I first moved into Orange County, I remember a lot of agricultural lands. Being able to go to the Anaheim packing house and buying oranges, to now I'm finding houses and retail centers in those areas.
Well, our community is Ventura County, and I'm in Oxnard, and I've lived there a long time. And what I do see is the increasing difficulty with finding affordable housing.
Carroll County is the only county in the SCAG region that borders a country and another state. So the biggest changes that we see in our region are unique in that they involve international partners looking to solve regional problems.
We have been a community that has grown from, when I moved to Murrieta, approximately 40,000 people. We're now roughly 118,000 people. So as you can imagine, our city has changed drastically from infrastructure to housing to population. We have change, not just in the past, but currently, and we will see more change into the future.
What we see in Long Beach is that the role of local government is changing. We're stepping up on issues like homelessness, mental health support, and economic development. We're no longer simply administering federal policy, but using our own local tools like zoning, land use, and local revenue options to achieve our own policy outcomes.
Southern California is changing. We've never seen this type of consecutive economic growth over really the last decade. And what's driving that is technology. We've seen impacts on new options for travelers and new ways to get around. While a lot of those are very, very positive, and I think it's very encouraging for our region to offer new mobility solutions, some of this is leading to increased congestion, and our residents are feeling that every day. Over 100 hours a year, Southern Californians are spending in traffic. And what do we need to do to ensure that this isn't a trend that's going to continue on to the future? We have to really think about everything we're doing and create programs to react to these changes. And now's the time for SCAG to really put those innovative solutions on the table.
The Mobility Go Zone and Pricing Feasibility Study was released recently at SCAG. We find ourselves in this conversation because we're looking at a resource, transportation, that is finite. And we're also looking at the potential of how we might better manage this finite resource, and pricing is one option. The study really is intended to be an opening to conversation. Ultimately, the policy decisions will be made by our policymakers. Those good decisions have to be enabled by good technical basis, and that's our job.
SCAG certainly does a lot towards studying new technology and passing that on to our subregions so that we can find better ways to create mobility without having to build new capacity. Something as simple as employers allowing employees to work from home, to cut vehicle miles traveled. There's many transit options, and again, we're looking at increasing productivity. A great example would be the inter-county study that we did between San Bernardino and Los Angeles counties. We have folks living in San Bernardino County because of the lower cost of living and housing, and working in Los Angeles for the higher wage-paying types of jobs. Certainly, SCAG is appreciative of the various types of relationships and partnerships that we formed throughout the region with our stakeholders. The introduction of the Future-Communit's pilot program would not have been successful without the partnership of the MSRC.
The intent really is to provide this grant funds to cities and counties within our region, our jurisdictions, to come up with innovative ways to reduce GHG.
There are many nonpartisan issues that we deal with here at SCAG.
The impact of natural disasters on our region is something that SCAG has to play a role in. So how we address, how we encourage our region to come together, share best practices amongst each other, and really ensure that those communities that are affected the most know they have an organization like SCAG with a broad membership ready to stand by them and help in any way.
SCAG has taken its role of advocacy very, very seriously, whether it be in Sacramento or whether it be in Washington, D.C. We've created relationships at both levels.
In February, we started off the year taking a delegation to Sacramento. And on those trips, in those meetings, our number one priority was housing. We knew that the state legislature has a role in helping local jurisdictions get those housings built, working with the business community, and working with stakeholders throughout the region.
Being part of the SCAG region is something that helps us have a stronger voice both in local politics as well as the state. And we work together strongly because we want to have a strong voice to advocate for stronger infrastructure, better housing, and better quality of life for our residents.
The Go Human campaign has been extremely successful at assisting communities to educate their residents as to the use of active transportation, including bicycling and pedestrians.
We've seen successful events all over the region, partnering with our member jurisdictions, encouraging new opportunities for students, for parents to think about how they're taking their kids to school and knowing that they can be safe. This, perhaps, one of the greatest accomplishments we've had at SCAG over the last 3 or 4 years, where we're starting to take big ideas, regional ideas, and really starting to translate them into what it means to local communities. So as SCAG sits down to do our next Connect SoCal plan, we've really got to think differently about it to make sure that it's still relevant in this rapidly changing world.
Connect SoCal, as we call it, is the Regional Transportation Plan Sustainable Community Strategy. This is a requirement of both federal and state laws that SCAG has an obligation to produce every 4 years. And the way we've named it is to express the intent of the document, which is to make sure that our region is fused together in terms of mobility, and that the connections are appropriate for the future, and that we're engaging all the potential future technologies that will allow us to build the livable community that we all envision for this region.
We know that the region's problems are big, the opportunities are even bigger, and the only way for us to really achieve what it is we can do to be our best in our region and our strongest economy, our safest and most efficient transportation system, is by really thinking beyond boundaries and encouraging collaboration and partnership all throughout our really amazing region.
It's really an exciting time to be talking about our region in terms of what the future potential might be and how we might balance that potential into the future to make sure that we have not only considerations for the economy, for equity, but also for the environment. That's the stuff that we do at SCAG that really has me excited, and I can't wait to see how the future unrolls.